So last year I got kind of ambitious with my outdoor projects, and I built a planter around one side of my fence, and inside that planter I planted a bunch of grapes and a bunch of raspberries. Now most of those raspberries, I was fortunate enough that somebody from Free Cycle allowed me to dig them off of their property. I planted a couple of red raspberries that I bought at a local nursery. My fiance loves those, so I really wanted to get a couple of those in for her. Anyway, this year I want to take and build the planter around the rest of the fence, and I'd like to propagate the plants that I already have so I don't have to go and buy a bunch of expensive plants again. Now, I'm no expert on this stuff, so I did a whole bunch of research over the last couple of days on the best way to propagate raspberries, and there's a whole bunch of different methods. Now, the first method, and probably the simplest method, is to just let the plant do it itself. Basically, a raspberry is going to grow what a gardener would call a sucker, which is just another plant growing up a little bit further away from the base of the plant, up from its roots. It's just basically growing a new stem, and what you can do is dig out that new stem that grew out of the ground and a little bit of the roots, and bam, you've got a new plant that you can go and plant elsewhere on your property. I think I have a whole bunch of those that actually popped up, so I might be lucky enough that I have the right amount for what I want to do, but I'm going to try these other methods anyway, just because I'm pretty excited about giving them a shot. The second method that I found involved making cuttings, and basically what you do is you take about 8 inches of stem from the raspberry, you strip a couple of leaves off of it, and you plant that in about 4 inches of soil and give it a couple of weeks, and it should grow some new roots on it, and then you can plant it elsewhere on your property and off you go. I think I've actually tried that before and it didn't turn out so well, but I'm going to try it again with some new advice that I found online, and we'll see what happens. Then the other way to propagate raspberries, which is very popular, and there's a bunch of different ways to do it, is called layering. Layering can take a whole bunch of different forms, and the simplest way is to layer the end of the plant, which basically involves cutting a few leaves off of the tip of the stem and replanting it wherever it'll reach, a little bit away from the base of the main plants. That's really easy, and in fact the plant's going to do that naturally on its own if you just let it grow out. I've got a couple of different places where my raspberries and blackberries have grown out, they fell on the ground, they rooted back into the soil, so I'm just going to cut those off, dig them up, and plant them on the other side of my fence. You can do that on your own, and we're going to do some of that and see how it turns out. And then there's actually another method of layering that I want to try, which is basically to cut into the stem of the plant, wrap it in some moist material, and let it grow roots from there. And then you cut that top part off of the plant and you can plant it elsewhere on your property. So anyway, that's a lot of talking, so let's just go out and get started. Alright, so the very first thing we want to do is look around for all of these suckers that have developed since last year. So right here is definitely one. What I'm going to do is take my little shovel here and dig out around this thing nice and deep so I can get as much root as possible. Whoops. Alright, there we go. And I'm going to hold on to that. And looking around here, I don't see... Oh, there we go. There's a good one. All right, so let's count them up, see how many of these I have, just from the suckers from last year. That's one, although I didn't get much root on it. Whoops. All right, 2, 3, 4. That one's really good. I don't think that's even, not even a raspberry. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, that one's really good. Actually, I think that's actually more plants that I even planted last year. So if all of these are planted successfully, I just doubled the number of plants I have, and that's absolutely amazing. So I'm not going to bring you along to watch me plant these things. I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to dig a hole 4 inches deep and put a plant in it and put some water in it. That's basically all I'm going to do, but I am going to follow up with videos on some of these other methods of propagating raspberries, and we're going to compare and contrast how successful they all are. All right, I will catch you later.